A really common challenge so many of us face is that our internal dialogue, the conversations happening between our own two ears, can be so harsh and we can flood our brains. And even though the messages are from us to us, our brains and nervous systems respond as if we are under attack. And then we're in those states, those fight, flight, fawn, freeze states, and we don't have as much access to the parts of our brain that help us make wise decisions and help us regulate our emotions and engage relationally with others. And so instead, we get caught in reactive patterns. For example, that can look like an unquestionable inner belief that the best path forward is to reach for our well-worn adaptations, to do more, to fix, to explain, to please, to help, to overthink, or it can send us into a shame spiral, or it can send us into those mental chatter conversations where we're replaying interactions in our heads, desperately trying to state our case or feel understood or make sense of what just happened. When we pause and acknowledge the of courseness of the situations, we're signaling safety to our brains. So when we get to say, of course, I feel this way given my past experiences, or of course, I'm reacting this way given my personal history, that validating and compassionate acknowledgement sends soothing neurochemicals that can reduce the intensity of the stress response that we're experiencing so that we have more access to our tools. And here's the next layer of support, because while that phrase, of course, can take us far, I also want to teach you a technique for those times that we find ourselves caught in a loop. When saying, of course, isn't enough to help pull us out of the vortex. Because when we're in that vortex, ideally, if we can start to say, of course, we get this homeopathic dose of ourselves outside of ourselves. And so I call this the list and categorize technique. And what this technique does is it engages our prefrontal cortex and helps your internal community between your own two ears refocus their collective energy and work together. Here's how it works. What you'll do is you start by listing items in a category, like listing trees or listing flowers or books or music or movies, a giant list, either in your head or write it down. And then you group them into smaller categories, such as flowers I see in the summertime or flowers I see on trips, or categorizing them into genres, right? Like comedy and whatever genre you want to name. And then as you list and categorize, what you're doing is you're pointing your brain's attention to a state of grounded focus where everybody's working together to try and organize and categorize. And it gives your internal community that chance to regroup, to work together, to put their collective effort towards something. And that can create moments of clarity and moments of calm.